He'll tap it back out. Nice. Why do you pass up on that? Hopefully White hits. He doesn't. Vucevic was signaling to Carter that you got to take that shot.
You got to make a layup.
It's one thing to be a team player, but if your team can't measure up to what you think their potential is, Javon, I don't know. Do it yourself.
This is SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and the trade dominoes are starting to fall in the NHL, with the deadline just 8 days away. Last year, there were 37 deals in the week leading up to the trade deadline. And last night, Dallas acquired Chris Tanev from the Flames, perhaps signaling the start of this year's frenzy. One team that's definitely looking to upgrade is the Leafs, who are looking to get back on track tonight against the Coyotes. First, let's check in on the standings, because the playoff race in the Atlantic is heating up. Detroit has won 6 in a row to move 2 points back of Toronto for 3rd place, while the Buds are 8 points back of the struggling Bruins and 1st place Panthers, with some games in hand. First in the division is a tough sell right now, but the way the Leafs have been playing lately has fans thinking there's a chance, however slim that actually may be. What could help close the gap is a pair of upcoming games with Boston, the second of which comes a day before the trade deadline. But back to tonight with Austin Matthews facing his hometown team for the 2nd time this season. He scored twice in Arizona earlier this month in a Leafs win, but Matthews hasn't had a ton of success against the Coyotes in his career. Just 8 points in 13 games, his lowest point total against a single franchise. Meanwhile, Arizona comes in with 13 straight losses, albeit with 2 of them coming in overtime. In that span, they've allowed 3 or more goals in every loss, 4 or more in 10 of those 13, and 5 or more in 7 of them. Arizona has won just 4 times in their last 23 games, which is wild. So seemingly this is the kind of game the Leafs will lose in, right? It's fun to be a Toronto sports fan. We love it out here. To Formula One, and we are just 2 days away from the start of the 2024 season, with the Bahrain Grand Prix on tap this weekend. And last week, our F1 analyst, Tim Hauraney, joined us and jacked my segment. I wasn't too happy about it at the time, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I mean, I can't stay mad at Tim for long, so here we are. We're going right back to him today. Tim, what have you got for us?
Well, Marissa, today, I'm not gonna steal your segment. We are trackside though. I want to take you through turn 10, a very important corner on the Bahrain International Circuit. Okay, so we're just at the top of turn 9. Turn 10 is just behind this wall here. Turn 10 is a perfect example of a corner that can really hurt the drivers. It's a blind corner. A driver can't see turn 10 until they've already begun their braking through turn 9. That makes trying to find a braking reference just extremely challenging in through this part. So if a driver just guesses where to brake, then the lap time is inconsistent and is usually pretty slow. Once the driver has located their reference, then they are hard on the brake pedal and trying to find the right time to modulate off the brake pedal as they dive downhill here towards turn 10. Almost through turn 9, turn 10 is just down there. So there's a lot going on here. The driver's braking, turning the wheel, downshifting. You can see by these black lines across the pavement here, this is where the drivers are really hard on the brakes. Now as we get closer to turn 10 here, you can see these black lines are very consistent. These are pretty much lock-up lines as the driver dives down towards the apex of turn 10. So if a driver pushes the limit on braking, it's so easy to lock up the front left wheel, and you may ask, why is that? So as the car is coming down the hill, the driver will want to make sure that they've completed their braking before turning the car into the apex. If they're coming in too hot, the driver will have to brake while really turning the wheel. As for the exit of turn 10 here, it's crucial to get this one right. Since these cars generate so much torque, it's easy to spin the rear wheels up and cook the tires, making them pretty useless. Drivers will want to do a quick upshift, so shift up a gear to deaden that torque a bit and smoothly apply the gas pedal as they exit this corner. And as they exit this corner, you can see this very long straightaway that they'll definitely want to take advantage of. So getting this corner completely right could be the difference between getting a pole position or starting outside the top 10. All right, thanks very much for having me, Marissa. Really appreciate it. See, I didn't take your segment. It wasn't that bad.
Like I said, I can't really stay mad at Tim Hauraney for long. You can catch the Bahrain Grand Prix Saturday on TSN. Coverage begins bright and early at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 a.m. Pacific. All right, as we've been doing these last few days, we're going to check in on Special Olympics Canada Winter Games over in Calgary. But first, a look at the medal count entering today. because we have to show some love for all these great athletes. Joining now by our very own Jesse Pollock. How's it going, you squid?
Hey, Riss. Vibes are sky high in Calgary right now.
Now, yesterday you checked out floor hockey and saw some pretty great skills on display. What do you have in store for us today?
I've had a great time here so far, but today I'm shaking things up a little bit. I'm actually going to Lamel's Western Wear to pick up some cowboy gear because I'm emceeing the closing ceremony with Katrina Maidone on Saturday, and the theme is cowboy, Western, whatever you want to call it, and I don't own any kind of clothing like that. So I'm going to be teamed up with a Special Olympics athlete ambassador, and we're going to get me a fit.
I love that you're going to come back to Toronto a full Calgarian. You're going to have the chaps and everything. I already know it, buddy. So what's been the highlight of your time out west so far?
There have already been some incredible highlights, but I got to say number one for me was going to the floor hockey event and seeing the Calgary Flames show up. Took time to actually play a game against the athletes. Michael Backlund was there, Rasmus Anderson was there. Current and former Flames were there, and it was just really special. Taking pictures with the athletes, it was heartwarming.
Thanks so much, Jess. We love hearing from you this week from out there. Can't wait to see more of this tomorrow.
Thanks, Riss.
Back to F1, and we heard from Tim Hauraney earlier in the show about this upcoming weekend's race in Bahrain. And as TSN continues to celebrate Black History Month, today we're honoring one of the greatest drivers in motorsport history. 7-time F1 champion with 103 wins under his belt, it's none other than Lewis Hamilton.
The reason I want to be a Formula 1 driver is because it's got a lot of speed in it, and my car feels really powerful when I'm in it. But imagine being in the Formula 1 car. It must be very powerful.
Get in there, Lewis. What a way to win your 7th world title.
That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible.
Lewis Hamilton has impacted the racing world like no one else on earth. The British Formula One driver is the best of the best. Hamilton has the most wins of all time, the most pole positions, and the most podium finishes with 197 and counting.
Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
Hamilton has 7 World Driver Championship titles, a record he shares with the great Michael Schumacher. Lewis Hamilton became the first black driver to race in F1 in 2007. 17 years later, he is still Formula One's only black driver. But Hamilton is working tirelessly to change that as he is a crusader for racial equality. In 2021, the Hamilton Commission was released with recommendations on how to make the engineering profession more inclusive and to encourage more diversity in motorsport.
My goal is in 10 years' time to have a different outlook here, for it to be diverse and for it to be open, inclusive and equal.
Lewis's charitable foundation, Mission 44, supports and encourages organizations and leaders to empower young people from underserved communities, a charity to which he donated $25 million, the biggest charitable contribution in the sport's history. He was made a member of the Order of the British Empire in 2009, and Sir Lewis Hamilton was knighted in 2021. TSN celebrates Black History Month.
Incredible that we get to watch this guy in our generation. That's all for today. We see you right back in tomorrow at 3 Eastern. No Pacific! Have a good one.